So, meine Lieben, heute ist der 10. März 2026, Abendsession. Es ist 3 Uhr morgen. Ich darf morgen wieder fucking früh aufstehen. Ich bin heute 25 Kilometer gerannt, alles tut weh. Und rat mal, wer sich entschieden hat, ja, morgen am Morgen um 11:30 Uhr Tennis spielen ist eine gute Idee. Und ja, morgen am Abend nochmal 6 Kilometer gehen ist auch eine gute Idee. Oh mein Gott. Aber gut, das ist scheißegal, weil who gives a shit, right? Also zieht jetzt auf das Ding durch und es kommt alles gut. I do Bible study, I read the Bible every morning, 20 minutes, every evening, 20 minutes. I'll continue with Numbers 33, remembering Israel's journey. This is the route that Israel followed as they marched out of Egypt under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. As the Lord's direction, Moses kept the written record of their progress. These are all the stages of their march, identified by the different places they stopped along the way. They set out from the city of Ramses in early spring on the 15th day of the first month. On the morning after the first Passover celebration, the people of Israel left defiantly, in full view of all the Egyptians. Meanwhile, the Egyptians were burying all their firstborn sons, whom the Lord had killed the night before. The Lord had defeated the gods of Egypt that night with great acts of judgment. After leaving Ramses, the Israelites set up camp at Sukkoth. Then they left Sukkoth and camped at Etham, on the edge of the wilderness. They left Etham and turned back towards Pi-Hahiroth, opposite Baal-Zephon, and camped near Megiddo. They left Pi-Hahiroth and crossed the Red Sea into the wilderness beyond. Then they traveled for 3 days into the Etham wilderness and camped at Marah. They left Marah and camped at Elim, where there were 12 springs of water and 20 palm trees. They left Elim and camped beside the Red Sea. They left the Red Sea and camped in the wilderness of Sin. They left the wilderness of Sin and camped at Dovka. They left Dovka and camped at Alush. They left Alush and camped at Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. They left Rephidim and camped at the wilderness of Sinai. They left the wilderness of Sinai and camped at Kibroth Hattava. They left Kibroth Hattava and camped at Hazeroth. They left Hazeroth and camped at Ritma. They left Ritma and camped at Rimon Perez. They left Rimon Perez and camped at Libna. They left Libna and camped at Rissa. They left Rissa and camped at Kehelata. They left Kehelata and camped at Mount Shefer. They left Mount Shefer and camped at Harada. They left Harada and camped at Markeloth. They left Markeloth and camped at Tahath. They left Tahath and camped at Tera. They left Tera and camped at Mizka. They left Mizka and camped at Hashmonah. They left Hashmonah and camped at Moserot. They left Moserot and camped at Bene Yakan. They left Bene Yakan and camped at Hor Higidgat. They left Hor Higidgat and camped at Yotbata. They left Yotbata and camped at Abona. They left Abona and camped at Etzion Geber. They left Etzion Geber and camped at Kadesh in the wilderness of Sin. They left Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor, at the border of Edom. While they were at the foot of Mount Hor, Aaron the priest was directed by the Lord to go up to the mountain, and there he died. This happened in the midsummer of the first day of the 15th month of the 18th year after Israel's departure from Egypt. Aaron was 123 years old when he died on Mount Hor. At that time the Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the Negev in the land of Canaan, heard that the people of Israel were approaching his land. Meanwhile, the Israelites left Mount Hor and camped at Zalmunna, and they left Zalmunna and camped at Punon. They left Punon and camped at Oboth. They left Oboth and camped at Iye Abarim on the border of Moab. They left Iye Abarim and camped at Dibon-Gad. They left Dibon-Gad and camped at Almon Diblathaim. They left Almon Diblathaim and camped in the mountains east of the river, near Mount Nebo. They left the mountains east of the river and camped at the plains of Moab, besides the Jordan River across from Jericho. Along the Jordan River they camped from Beth Yeshimoth as far as the meadows of Acacia on the plains of Moab. Whilst they were camped near the Jordan River on the plains of Moab opposite Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. When you cross the river Jordan into the land of Canaan, you must drive out all the people living there. You must destroy all their carved and molten images and demolish all their pagan shrines. Take possession of the land and settle in it, because I have given it to you to occupy. You must distribute the land among the clans by sacred lot in the proportion to their size. A larger portion of land will be allotted to each of the larger clans, and a smaller portion will be allotted to each of the smaller clans. The decision of the sacred lot is final. In this way, the portion of land will be divided amongst your ancestral tribes. But if you fail to drive out the people who live in the land, those who remain will be like splinters in your eyes and thorns in your sides. They will harass you on the land where you live, and I will do to you what I had planned to do to them." Numbers 34, boundaries of the land. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Give these instructions to the Israelites. When you come into the land of Canaan, which I am giving you as a special possession, these will be the boundaries. The southern portion of your country will extend from the wilderness of Zin along the edge of Edom. The southern boundary will begin on the east of the Dead Sea. It will then round south past Scorpion Pass in the direction of Zin. Its southernmost point will be Kadesh Barnea, from which it will go to Hadar Adar and on to Atzmon. From Atzmon, the boundary will turn towards the Brook of Egypt and end at the Mediterranean Sea. Your western boundary will be the coastline of the Mediterranean Sea. Your northern boundary will begin at the Mediterranean Sea and run east to Mount Hor, then to Lebo Hamath, and on through Zedad and Ziphron to Hatzar Enan. This will be your northern boundary. The eastern boundary will start at Hatzar Enan and run south to Shepham, then down to Riblan on the east side of Ain. From there, the boundary will run down along the eastern edge of the Sea of Galilee, then along the Jordan River to the Dead Sea. These are the boundaries of your land. Then Moses told the Israelites, "This territory is the homeland you are to divide among yourselves by sacred lot. The Lord has commanded that the land be divided among the 9.5 remaining tribes. The families of the tribe of Reuben, Gad, and half the tribe of Manasseh have already received their grants of land on the east side of the Jordan River, across from Jericho towards the sunrise. Leaders to divide the land." And the Lord said to Moses, "Eleazar the priest and Joshua son of Nun are the men designated to divide the grants of land among the people. Enlist one leader from each tribe to help them with the task. These are the tribes and the names of the leaders. Tribe Judah, leader Caleb son of Jephunneh. Simeon, Shemuel son of Ammiud. Benjamin, Eliad son of Kislon. Tribe of Dan, Buki son of Jogli. Tribe of Manasseh son of Joseph, Haniel son of Ephod. Ephraim son of Joseph, Kemuel son of Shiftan. Tribe Zebulun, Elisaphan, son of Parnach. Issachar tribe, Paltiel, son of Azan. Tribe of Asher, Ahihud, son of Shelomi. Tribe of Naphtali, Pedahel, son of Ammihud. These are the men the Lord has appointed to divide the grants of land in Canaan among the Israelites. Numbers 35. While Israel was camped beside the Jordan on the plains of Moab across from Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, "Command the people of Israel to give to the Levites from their property certain towns to live in, along with the surrounding pasture lands. These towns will be for the Levites to live in, and the surrounding lands will provide pasture for their cattle, flocks, and other livestock. The pasture land assigned to the Levites around these towns will extend 1,500 feet from the town walls in every direction, measure of 3,000 feet outside the town walls in every direction, east, south, west, north, with the town at the center. This area will serve the larger pasture land for the towns. 6 of the towns you give the Levites will be cities of refuge, where a person who has accidentally killed someone can flee for safety. In addition, give them 42 other towns, for in all 48 towns with the surrounding pasture land will be given to the Levites. These towns will come from the property of the people of Israel. The larger tribes will give more towns to the Levites, while the smaller tribes will give fewer. Each tribe will give property in proportion to the size of its land. Cities of refuge. The Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. When you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, designate cities of refuge to which people can flee if they have killed someone accidentally. These cities will be places of proportion from a dead person's relative who want to avenge the death. The slayer must not be put to death before being tried by the community. Designate 6 cities of refuge for yourselves, 3 on the east side of the Jordan River and 3 on the west side in the land of Canaan. These cities are for the protection of Israelites, foreigners living among you, and traveling merchants. Anyone who accidentally kills someone may flee there for safety. But if someone strikes and kills another person with a piece of iron, it is murder, and the murder must be executed. Or if someone with a stone in his hand strikes and kills another person, it is murder, and the murderer must be put to death. Or if someone strikes and kills another person with a wooden object, it is murder, and the murderer must be put to death. The victim's nearest relatives is responsible for putting the murderer to death. When they meet, the avenger must put the murderer to death. So, if someone hates another person and waits in ambush, then pushes him or throws something at him and he dies, it is murder. Or if someone hates another person and hits him with its fist and he dies, it is murder. In such cases, the avenger must put the murderer to death when they meet. But suppose someone pushes another person without having shown previous hostility and throws something that unintentionally hits another person, or accidentally drops a huge stone on someone though they were not enemies and the person dies. If this should happen, the community must follow these regulations in making a judgment between the slayer and the avenger, the victim's nearest relative. The community must protect the slayer from the avenger and must escort the slayer back to live in the city of refuge to which he fled. And there he must remain until the death of the high priest who was anointed with the sacred oil. But if the slayer ever leaves the limits of the cities of refuge and the avenger finds him outside of the city and kills him, it will not be considered murder. The slayer must have stayed inside of the city of refuge until the death of the high priest. But after the death of the high priest, the slayer will return to his own property. These are legal requirements for you to observe from generation to generation, wherever you may live. All murderers must be put to death, but only if evidence is presented by more than one witness. No one may be put to death on the testimony of only one witness. Also, you must never accept a ransom payment for the life of someone judged guilty of murder and subject to execution. Murderers must always be put to death, and never accept a ransom payment from someone who has fled to a city of refuge, allowing a slayer to return to his property before the death of the high priest. This will ensure that the land where you live will not be polluted, for murder pollutes the land, and no sacrifice except the execution of the murderer can purify the land from murder. You must not defile the land where you live, for I live there myself. I am the Lord who lives amongst the people of Israel. Numbers 36. Women who inherit property. Then the heads of the clans of Gilead, descendants of Machir, sons of Manas, son of Joseph, came to Moses and the family leaders of Israel with a petition. They said, Sir, the Lord instructed you to divide the land by the sacred lot amongst people of Israel. You were told by the Lord to give the grants to landowners by our brother Zelophehad to his daughters. But if they marry men from another tribe, their grants of land will go with them to the tribe into which they marry. In this way, the total area of our tribal land will be reduced. Then, when the year of Jubilee comes, their portion of land will be added to that of the new tribe, causing it to be lost forever to our ancestral tribe. So Moses gave the Israelites this command from the Lord. The claim of the men of the tribe of Joseph is legitimate. This is what the Lord commands concerning the daughters of Zelophehad. Let them marry anyone they like, as long as it is within their own ancestral tribe. None of the territorial land may pass from tribe to tribe, for all the land given to each tribe must remain within the tribe to which it was first allotted. The daughters throughout the tribes of Israel who are in line to inherit property must marry within their tribe, so that all the Israelites will keep their ancestral property. No grant of land may pass from one tribe to another. Each tribe of Israel must keep its allotted portion of land. The daughters of Zelophehad did as the Lord commanded Moses. Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah all married cousins on their father's side. They married into the clans of Manasseh, son of Joseph. Thus their inheritance of land remained within their ancestral tribe. These are the commands and regulations that the Lord gave to the people of Israel through Moses while they were camped on the plains of Moab, besides the Jordan River across from Jericho.